On September 24th, 2025, Serena Williams was in New York City. She was there supporting her friend Kim Kardashian on a new release for her company Skims. She was in a New York City hotel, a 5-star hotel, when she posted this on her Instagram story.
All right, everyone, how do we feel about cotton as decoration? Personally, for me, it doesn't feel great. So actually, it feels like no polishing for cotton, natural.
Now, as you can hear, she asks her followers, how do we feel about a cotton decoration? All right. And in her view, the cotton decoration doesn't feel great. She doesn't say it doesn't look great. She said it doesn't feel great. She did pick the cotton, but after looking at it and said doesn't feel great. She doesn't mention slavery, sharecropping, or any of those things because the clip is only about 22 seconds long. However, there are many other people who interpreted exactly what she meant.
It's 2025. Serena Williams is estimated by Forbes to be worth $350 million. She's married to a very, very rich man too. She hung up her racket in 2022, ending a career in which she earned $95 million in prize money, more prize money than any female athlete in history. She has endorsement deals to this day with more than a dozen brands. She's active as an investor in her own venture capital firm. She's got a licensing deal with a beauty line. She's launched a multimedia company. She owns part of the Miami Dolphins, but she is an oppressed, direct descendant of slaves, I guess, and that's how she sees herself.
So Megyn Kelly weighed in on this and she said, well, this is interesting. Serena Williams has all of these accomplishments. She's the most wealthiest female athlete of all time, although she's black. All of these things have happened for her, despite she's black, okay? She's married to a husband who is rich, which is Alex Ohanian. I believe Alex Ohanian is European Jewish. So not only are you black, but you've been able to marry a man who is rich. And outside of that, he's Jewish or white. I'm not sure which one he is, but I believe he's Jewish. So that didn't stop you. So basically, you're talking about this cotton, and if you mean that cotton is something to do with racism, well, in your case, it hasn't stopped your growth or your development. So what's the outrage about? I mean, you're in a New York City hotel, a 5-star one at that, and you're richer than like almost every American. But there were other people who pointed out something else.
But she went out of her way to make it a huge deal and show how disgusted she was. Which is pretty ironic considering that you did a damn crip walk during the Super Bowl halftime show.
So this person points out the fact that during the Super Bowl, Serena Williams was crip walking. Now, on one end, she says the cotton doesn't feel great because if she's talking about racism, the cotton is a representation of the history of forced labor, sharecropping, and racial exploitation in the United States. Basically, this decor triggers painful reminders of the past for many black people. Now, we can argue that Serena Williams or anybody in our age group could not remember slavery. And so it can't really trigger so many painful reminders of the past because we can't all the way identify with it. But what we can identify with is gang culture. I mean, I was all the way alive in the 80s and 90s when you heard gunshots. Literally, I lived in Compton, also lived on Watts. I used to live on East 112th Street, okay, right across the street, the back of the street of Grape Street Elementary School, all right? I used to live right in Grape Street Watts territory during the 80s. I remember ducking for cover, all right? I remember living on Santa Fe in Compton, okay? Then I moved to Elizabeth, all right? Then I remember we used to live on Elizabeth, close to Elizabeth and Alondra in Compton, Southside Crip neighborhood. Like, if anything, I understand how dangerous black on black crime and gangbanging is. So if you see cotton decoration and get upset about this, but then you're interacting with gang culture, literally you're crip walking. So basically, what has caused more destruction to the black community? Is it cotton in the last 40 years? Or is it Crips and Bloods? Let's think about it. And the answer is gangbanging. So now you're being intellectually dishonest. And I do agree with his point. You're pointing out something that doesn't make sense while addressing a larger problem. But wait, there's more.
The average person in 2025 does not look at a cotton decoration and think of slavery. They don't think of illusions of slavery. They don't think of anything like that. But Serena Williams, one of the most wealthy, powerful women in the world, who is, again, one of the greatest athletes the world has ever seen, is so locked up and so stuck in that sort of like, since I am black, I have to be a victim and I'm somehow a victim of slavery mentality, that she not only sees the cotton, she gets triggered by it and also has to make a video on social media about it.
And shout out to Rob Smith. Basically, nobody thinks about cotton, and obviously you're successful. Let me get back to the whole cotton thing. And this is important. Why is Serena Williams mostly focused on cotton? Because a lot of the black celebrities who are Democrats, they live a life that's contrary to what their views are. And let's look at some of the comments, all right, on TikTok. I'm triggered by the blonde hair she was wearing. Woo! Don't forget the blonde hair. Woo! And a blonde wig.
Damn!
This person goes, wow, her natural instinct was to pick it, just saying. Now, this person here, I'm not a big fan of Serena Williams, but truthfully, guys, maybe she didn't mean it like that. She's just saying cotton doesn't look that great as decoration. At no point she's insinuating anything about slavery, etc. I think she was completely misunderstood. My opinion, God bless. Now, again, I want to deal with this because Serena Williams says it doesn't feel good before picking it. So feel means that there's some level of hurt or discomfort. So she is talking about slavery. Now, if she would have said this cotton doesn't look good, then that would be different. But not only did she say she doesn't feel good, she put it on her Instagram. And so most black liberals that I talk to, not that I dislike them, but many of them are focused on things that don't matter in black America. They want to bring a lot of attention to symbolism. Let's say like taking down the Confederate flag. Something like that is a big win for liberals because it's symbolic, but it does nothing in all actuality. And I can understand why any black person wants the Confederate flag to be down. I mean, I understand why, but that is more of a concern like protesting or debating white supremacists than it is starting black businesses or funding the black youth or getting black people to work together, because that is actually too hard to do it because that takes intellectual capacity. It's easier to have outrage about cotton in a hotel because this is an easy talking point to, trigger racism, even though you're married to a white husband, a white man with a blonde wig, because most of the black celebrities in politics are loyal to the left. They don't care about the black community. So this is how they scream outrage and woe is me. But the real intellectual heavy lifting means planning, investing, educating your people. That's the real heavy lifting. But Serena Williams, they're concerned with symbolic victories. And a lot of black people, we like that. We like to hear symbolic talk. We like to hear people keeping it real. But at the same time, we lose ground to other corporations. We lose wealth. We lose the ability to work together. And then the accountability on our end, you just won't hear it. For an example, you won't ever hear like Brandon Tatum, Candace Owens talk about white conservative crime. In the last few weeks, we've seen so many shootings going on with white people, okay, all across the country. You will never hear Candace Owens talk about those things. But now if you get a black person doing something, they'll be the first to talk about it. Now, the black liberals or Democrats are the same way. If there's a white shooter, we'll talk about it. Black on black crime, we won't. Single motherhood, we won't. And those are the things that we should be addressing in the black community, but we don't address them because it doesn't fit the narrative, all right? And in this case, addressing cotton is a reach because it fits a narrative of keeping black people behind. Everybody's racist, woe is me, but they never come with the narrative of how can we fix our own problems? What can we do with our own people to address our concerns? This is what every other group does. I mean, the Hispanics do it better than us to a certain degree. You have other groups who try to fix what's going on with their own issues and trying to have more establishments, more businesses, more lobbying with the government, more lobbying with parties. Jews do it exceptionally well. See, people are doing that and they're getting further. But the thing is to keep black people confused, right? And so if you keep giving black people symbolic victories, but they don't have any real victories, then you lose to the immigrants. You lose to everybody else. You don't own anything in your community. And Serena Williams is okay with that play as long as she gets to stay rich. And a lot of the people that have money that are doing successful, they will push these narratives at the expense of the development of Black America. And so when the white people are calling this out, even though, like I said, some of them could be racist, it could be insensitive, I don't think that these comments are wrong. These comments are exceptionally right because to have this kind of mindset, it defeats black people. Like, it's a cotton decoration. I don't necessarily think that that's somebody trying to be racist. There are definitely people trying to be racist, especially in New York State. I mean, if there's somebody that's not getting a job because they're black, if there's somebody being discriminated about other things because they're black, okay, now that makes sense. But because somebody chose the cotton decoration, and like the person was saying, like, so is Serena Williams gonna throw away all of her clothes because they're made of cotton? Like, absolutely no. You have to get your nails done. They typically use nail polish cotton. Do you have a problem with that? No, of course you don't. You use cotton for something. You're not anti-cotton, right? And again, these kind of triggers to keep blacks, in this situation, it just hurts the black community. And then ultimately what happens is nobody takes you serious. If you look at Serena Williams in her life and the way she's been trying to look like a white woman, it's insane. She's on Ozempic. She's gotten skin lightening procedures from what I can tell. She's gotten all kind of surgeries. Serena Williams has done everything to look more European. At the same time, you want to basically blame the group and call that group racist that you want to be. You've been doing everything that you can to be associated with that group. You and your sister, you want to be white women. And now all of a sudden, wait a minute, that's racist, guys, but I want to be with you. I want to be like you. Like, somebody looks at her and says, this person's not even, like, what's going on with this person? Like, it's not even serious. It's not real. And anybody who talks like that, nobody respects you. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If your money is not going to be tied to the community that you're from, then you're lukewarm. Like, Serena Williams wants to be in the black community if it suits her and it's no effort, but everything that you do is to be closer to white people. And we see it and they see it. So somebody doesn't look at you and think that, oh, when she's talking about something, we should actually pay attention to it. She's a joke. Okay, we got her too. Don't worry about it, right? Like, Serena Williams is just like all of them. They're a joke. They're no threat. And they know that no matter how much money she has, there is nothing that she can do to help her people win for the whites, okay? So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Shady Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.